Welcome to today's demonstration of the Hotel for SAP add-on. This video segment in the series will focus on the reservation module. It will give you a brief understanding of its layout and demonstrate how to create both single and group reservations. So without further ado, let's take a look into the module. The first thing we see on the left-hand side of the screen is the navigator, which is used to manage the reservation in its entirety. You can manage the individual rooms themselves, but also the reservation as a whole, with linked business partners, invoice routing, or deposits. We will start with the individual room screen, also known as all rooms, but go into more depth with the others throughout the demonstration. When first opening the reservation module, it will default to a blank all room screen, where you can enter in the details of individual rooms. Chronologically, we start by entering the guest's last and first name. If the guest has previously stayed with us, a drop-down window will appear with suggested guest profiles we can select. For this guest, a note was configured to pop up at the time of selection to remind the reservationist that the guest is a member of the loyalty program. This is a great feature of the software and can be utilized for many purposes. After reading this note, we continue on with the reservation and enter their date of arrival, number of days staying, or date of departure depending upon what the employee prefers. Next, we enter the room type the guest is requesting, in addition to a room upgrade if applicable. In case the hotel works with room assignments, we can assign a specific room from the drop-down menu. The system will then show us the available rooms based upon the room type. However, we still have the ability to see other rooms and room types with the various filter buttons. If we need to lock this room assignment to the reservation for whatever reason, we can do this with the locked checkbox. This will prevent other users from changing the assignment in the planner module without first removing this flag. Moving on to the equipment field, we have the ability to assign a predefined amenity to the room for housekeeping, such as towel art or a pillow chocolate. Additionally, we can select a predefined discount that can be set up in the configuration of Hotel for SAP. After completing this section, we can move to the right side of the screen and select the rate we will be charging with the linked package. In this case, we are choosing the rack rate with the room and breakfast package. As you can see, the price is automatically calculated in the background, but we still have the flexibility to change it as needed or give any necessary discounts. Once we are comfortable with the price, we can manage the transportation means of the guest, like if they are arriving by airport shuttle, taxi, or their own personal vehicle. We even have the ability to track their estimated time of arrival and departure for internal purposes. Once this information has been entered, we can move down to the bottom of the screen under the Packs tab, where we manage the guest information. Here we can add or remove additional adults/children and see how the price is automatically updated based upon the needs of the hotel. It can be configured to update based upon the number of people staying in the room, their age, or even just by the room as a whole. If the guest has already been registered with the hotel, we can see their previously created profile by clicking on the golden arrow next to their guest code. However, if you don't want to open up another window to edit this information, you can simply click on the row of the guest and update their information to the right on the same screen. If the guest has not yet been registered with the hotel, we will not see an attached profile and have to enter one manually. The easiest way to do this is by entering in their last and first names in the appropriate fields and then entering in the applicable information to the right. As long as you complete one field on the right, a new guest profile will be created. One great feature of the software is the ability to handle different dates of arrival or departure for a single person. The price will then be adjusted automatically based upon these dates. After we are satisfied with everything in the Packs tab, we can move on to the Stays tab to manage the specific days of the reservation. By clicking on a single day, you can change the rate, package, room assignment, price, etc. Once we set the date of arrival of the second person to a different date, we can see this reflected here on this tab. Once everything is set as desired, we can move on to the Extras tab, where we can add extra services that are not included in a package or charged to the guest on a daily basis. As an example, this can be daycare, car rentals, or extra activities. We have the flexibility to charge these extras to any day during their stay and determine how they will show up on the final invoice. In the Activities tab, we can add standard SAP activities to the room with reminders for the assigned SAP user. As an example, we press Add New, select the user the activity we assign to, and enter any additional information for the activity. The next tab, Log, isn't a required tab for entering in a reservation, but is useful when researching or investigating changes that have been made to a reservation. It is similar to the change log of Core SAP, where you can view changes that have been made to the reservation with the associated dates, times, and users making these edits. The final tab is the Notes tab. Here you can add 3 different notes, have them pop up at check-in or check-out, and assign them to different departments of the hotel, such as front office or housekeeping. Once we are finished with all the tabs of the first room in the reservation, we return to the navigator where we see the line item of the room that was just created. Under the navigator, we have the ability to add a new empty room to the reservation or duplicate the current room as many times as required. When entering in large group reservations, we have the ability to use the Add Group function, which allows us to enter multiple rooms at the same time with similar information. This removes redundancy of data entry and allows your team to be more efficient. Additionally, you can accomplish similar efficiencies without using the group function. You can use the Control and Shift keys to select multiple rooms at the same time and adjust fields for all the rooms simultaneously. Once all the rooms have been entered, we can move to the navigator and open the Head section. Here, we can see the reservation number after it's been saved and change the default description or name of the reservation if desired. On the right, we can assign a color to the reservation for the Planner module, which can be seen separately in the Overview/Planner demo. If default routings have been created, we can assign one to the reservation so we don't have to manually assign charges to the invoice. For each reservation, we can link up to 3 business partners or companies for billing purposes. Once complete with the head screen, we return to the navigator again and open the routing screen. Here we can see how the invoice will be split up and appear when printed according to the routing set in the previous screen. However, we still have the ability to manually add bills and groups of charges to these bills for the invoice. The rooming list screen in the navigator is not required, but in case of big groups with a lot of rooms, users can utilize the rooming list screen to link existing profiles to rooms or manually modify the main guest information all in one screen. This can save time for your reservationist. Going back to the navigator, we see the deposit screen, which we skipped earlier, where we can create new deposits that are linked automatically to the reservation or link existing deposits previously created. Once we save the reservation, Hotel for SAP will automatically create the incoming payment in SAP Business One. In order to save the reservation, we have 2 options. With the Add button, we save the reservation and stay on the same screen to continue editing. With the Add Plus button, we save the reservation, but simultaneously open another blank reservation to continue entering in additional reservations. In this case, we will see a green description of the reservation that we just saved in the bottom left of the module. By double-clicking on it, we can reopen the reservation. This concludes our demonstration of the reservation module inside of the Hotel for SAP add-on. Please reference our other videos in the series for more information on Hotel for SAP.